So this is a field of non-GMO soybeans that has Palmer amaranth in it. It's a really nice field to illustrate how Palmer amaranth and water hemp spread from field to field, and also what you can do to try to stop it. So the Palmer amaranth is really in a stripe sort of along the edge of the field here. You don't really see very much out in the field, so it probably hasn't been here very long. And if you see down over the hill there, you can see where it got started down there. So at some point, someone pulled a combine into the field here that had Palmer amaranth in it, in the combine, and started up this, and you can see how it blew a lot of that Palmer amaranth out. And then depending on how many times it's been harvested since then, there's continued spread as someone comes through here with a combine. So this field was treated with Classic and Flex Star about 3 weeks ago. And this is a field that there's some time involved here in terms of removal, but the way that we know water hemp and Palmer come in a situation like this, if you just do some scouting this time of year, really to try to catch situations like this, maybe especially if you have someone custom harvesting for you, or if you have one or two fields that are infested and you're worried about dragging it to other fields. So I mean, even now, this is a field where you could spend a couple hours walking down through here and getting most of the plants that are going to produce seed. So in this field, what the Classic and Flex Star did was cause something like this, where it stopped the plant's growth at a certain point, or affected it, and it rebranched, and you can see some alteration of the growth and forced it to do more branching. Here's another one that was cut off, apparently, and it did some of the same thing. So giant ragweed, water hemp, Palmer amaranth, and mare's tail will all rebranch when you do this type of thing to them. So there's good news and bad news. I mean, the bad news about coming in and doing something like this and basically not killing the plant, because the timing was really way late to have any herbicide activity, and they're non-GMO soybeans, so they're limited options anyway. As you do force it to do something like this, you can actually get more seed heads than you might have had if you just let it go. The good news is he probably also set them back, so that by having some impact on them, he still should be out here again before they produce seed. At least I would cut it, walking through here and cutting these plants off, so that they don't, and removing them from the field so that he doesn't have an infestation next year, especially if he wants to keep growing non-GMO soybeans. But the good news is, he delayed probably seed, even though he has more branches. He might have already had some mature seed, and we're really not finding any mature seed here. But it's a really good example of still a small level infestation. You can see how it started, and you can see that really with some diligence in this case, along the edge of the field, and just kind of scouting fields, and being on the watch for Palmer amaranth and water hemp, you can really start a lot of it, especially given that a lot of it does spread by combines.